At the beginning of the movie, we see three MIT students, Nick, Jonah, and Haley, on a road trip to move Haley to California. Her decision to become an exchange student in California is taking a toll on her relationship with Nick, since she feels that Nick is distancing himself from her, whereas Nick does not want his muscular dystrophy to hold her back. When they stop at a roadside convenience store, Nick helps a child win a plush toy by drawing him a detailed plan and giving him $1. The trio explores interesting places throughout their journey, though Nick becomes gloomy from time to time when he remembers the days he could run around freely. Later, while they are staying in a hotel, Nick notices a text from Nomad, a hacker that almost got them expelled by hacking the MIT servers and blaming the trio for it. Nick wakes Jonah up, and together they tell Nomad that his hacking caused them significant trouble, so they intend to expose him at DEF CON later. Nomad sends them a link in an email which shows a clip of them standing in their motel room. It is the live webcam feed of Haley's laptop across the room, implying that Nomad knows their location. The boys quickly turn off Haley's laptop and resort to uncovering the hacker's identity using their Linux system. Jonah gets Nick the important server addresses, and through the coordinates, the two tech enthusiasts figure out that the hacker is located in Nevada. Just then, Haley walks in on them, claiming that one of them will have to drive since she can't sleep in their noise. The next morning, as they are en route, Jonah receives an image of Haley's car captured from a security camera a few moments ago. While the boys are impressed by the hacker's prowess, Haley wants them to stop probing into the hacker's identity and let this all be a thing of the past. They stop at a gas station, and while Nick thinks Haley's right, Jonah insists on teaching the hacker a lesson, especially since they are going through Nevada. At the next stop, Nick goes to get coffee, which gives Haley the perfect window to ask Jonah about Nick's changing behavior. Jonah agrees that Nick is going through a tough time and encourages Haley to talk to Nick. Just then, they see Nick fall and spill his coffee. They rush to help him, but he seems uptight and returns to the store to get a new coffee. Haley offers to assist him, but he reminds her that they are parting ways soon, which upsets her. Later, he apologizes to her and reveals that his disease is progressing rapidly, implying that he will soon be in a wheelchair. Even though he can't bear to lose Haley, the thought of her leaving him due to his condition or being with him out of pity is gnawing at him. Haley cries because he is blaming her for something that hasn't even happened yet, and throws the necklace Nick gifted her over the cliff. As they continue their journey, the boys plan to deal with the hacker after dropping Haley, but she expresses her wish to confront the hacker too. That night, they arrive at a deserted house in the middle of Nevada, and the boys leave Haley in the car while they explore the house. Shortly after, they hear Haley scream, so they rush out to find an empty car with all the doors open and the radio jumping through different frequencies. At some distance, they see Haley being pulled into the sky, and suddenly they find themselves immersed in blinding white light. In the next scene, Nick opens his eyes to find himself in a research facility with people in hazmat suits around him. One of them takes him to a designated office in a wheelchair, where he is questioned by Dr. Wallace Damon, who is in charge of helping them cope with the situation at hand. Nick notices a tattoo 2.3.5.41 on his arm and demands to know why he is immobilized, as his legs used to work previously. Damon explains that they had an encounter with an EBE, an extraterrestrial biological entity, which is why everyone around him is geared up to avoid any possible alien contamination. Nick then asks to contact his parents and reunite with Haley and Jonah, but Damon asks him to rest. When Nick is taken to his room, he realizes he is being held underground in some research facility, as even the daylight appears simulated. He learns that Haley is in a coma and wishes to be with her, but the staff does not let him. In their next session, after assessing Nick's mental alertness, Damon asks Nick about the signal, which Nick infers to be the signal from Nomad. He tells him how he first got it at MIT when he had hacked into their servers. Just then, a staff shows up, and at Dam's behest pulls out a video from Nick's video camera, where we see an alien standing behind him in the trees. This leaves Nick shocked, and Damon adds to his anguish by saying that the signal couldn't have been the work of a mere hacker. When Nick is returned to his room, he throws his food tray out of frustration. Shortly after, he hears Jonah's voice through the vents, saying that his body feels different, and he needs to get somewhere out of this trap. On the next visit, Nick is frustrated at the basic tests regarding shapes, compatibility, and color laid out for him, as he believes they do not match his intellect. He also mentions that he has seen only one clock this entire time at the facility, which seems to be broken. Back in his ward, Nick uses crackers and medical tubes to decipher the code to the lock in the hallway using fingerprint detection. Jonah communicates with him, thinking that they might have been infected with something. Moving on, there is a bizarre experiment involving a cow and an extraterrestrial being, which trips the security alarm. Nick uses the moment to leave his room and hide in a bathroom, but he is soon discovered by the staff. On his way back, he notices strange burnt marks and dents on the walls. When he meets Dr. Damon, he asks about Jonah, but Damon tells him that Jonah was never recovered from the house that night. Nick accuses him of lying, but Damon reassures him that Jonah never set foot inside the facility. Later, Nick devises a plan to escape from the facility along with Haley. He uses his bed to make a blueprint of his escape plan and almost succeeds, but the staff intercepts him. Next, he wakes up in a brightly lit room alongside Haley, who tells him that she feels better, after which she drifts off. He tries to grab her, but the staff takes her away and tries to restrain Nick. In doing so, Nick falls to the ground, which prompts the staff to exit the room. Nick suddenly realizes that his legs have been amputated and replaced by advanced prosthetics, and he starts panicking. Damon asks Nick to allow his men to insert a needle in his vein for his safety, but Nick refuses and uses his superpowered limbs to break himself and Haley out of the facility. Damon tries to talk Nick out of escaping, claiming that he won't be able to protect him beyond the facility. However, since Nick does not trust Damon, he makes his way through the escape tunnels, and once outside, Haley and Nick realize that they are in a barren desert. They hitch a ride with an old lady who claims that she sees angels everywhere, and then reach the nearest gas station where Nick tries to use the phone, but it is out of order. Just then, he notices his face plastered on the TV, announcing him and Haley as highly contagious fugitives. At the same time, Haley hijacks an 18-wheeler truck, and Nick joins her using his super-powered legs. They don't get too far when they come across a trench blocking the entire highway. Hence, Nick and Haley take a detour and come across an abandoned visitors center, where they find a map that makes things more confusing. They decide to lay low for the night and luckily run into Jonah, who has disguised himself as one of Damon's men in a hazmat suit. His hands and forearms have been replaced with the same cybernetic prosthetics as Nick's legs, and he believes that they are in Area 51. When Nick tucks Haley into bed, he notices alien technology implants in her spine along with the same tattoo. Jonah tells him that they all share the same tattoo, and this might be a simulation test. In the next scene, the trio drives in the desert until they reach a military checkpoint. Jonah poses as one of the staff to get through while Nick and Haley hide, but the guards grow suspicious and ask Jonah to get off the truck, after which a concrete barrier stops the truck from moving forward. Thus, Jonah grabs a gun and opens fire at them until he gets inside the guardhouse. Inside, he tries to hack into their computer system to disarm the barrier, but the military personnel throw a grenade that causes a huge explosion. Though injured, Jonah gets up, but his glasses are damaged, so he walks toward the truck and the guards shoot him. Nick runs toward the fatally wounded Jonah, who uses his superpowered fists to break the concrete barrier and urges Nick to escape with Haley, while he stays back to distract the guards. As the truck drives away, Jonah musters all his strength and hits the ground, which generates a shockwave, and all the soldiers are hurled away. A few moments later, Nick and Haley notice Damon and a convoy of his men, blocking the bridge to the outer world. After they destroy the truck tires with spikes, the truck topples over and Haley is evacuated somewhere unknown via a helicopter. Damon knows of Nick's cybernetic limbs, but he warns him against using them to get to Haley. After hearing a loud horn coming from the sky, Nick suddenly realizes that Damon is Nomad spelled backwards and confronts Damon. As it happens, Damon was indeed Nomad, and all of this happened because Nick was the one who went around looking for him. In addition, Damon claims that Nick is the finest blend of human will and alien technology. Hearing this, Nick uses all his pent-up anger and desperation to run at supersonic speed in the direction of Haley's chopper, melting everything in his way until he breaks through an invisible barrier. Damon reaches him in a jiffy and removes his helmet to reveal that he is a robotic alien with a human face. Nick finds himself in a massive exterior facility where he sees Area 51, which was the Earth-like world inside the Canyon City. He also notices the stars and outer space through the glass and regretfully realizes he is not in some government facility, but on an alien spaceship numbered 2.3.541, which is about to dock its homeworld. With that, the movie ends. Thanks for watching The Signal. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Welcome, sci-fi fans. Futurist Flicks is thrilled to launch our exclusive membership program designed for loyal fans like you. By joining, you'll unlock early access to recap videos, unseen recap videos, raffle prizes, free merch giveaways, exclusive content and behind-the-scenes insights, access to community events, live streams, and Q&A sessions. Join the Cosmic Crew today and get instant access to exclusive perks. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more intergalactic adventures.